It's strange how quickly a place can stop feeling like home. For most students, the first day of college is exciting. New faces, new freedom, a fresh start. But for Ethan, his first night on campus was the beginning of something he would never fully understand. The campus itself was beautiful in a quiet, almost eerie way. Tall trees lined the pathways, their branches arching overhead like they were trying to block out the sky. The buildings were old, older than most universities, constructed from dark brick that seemed to absorb light instead of reflect it. Ethan noticed that the moment his parents drove away, there was something heavy about the air, but he brushed it off. Just nerves, he told himself. His dorm was in the oldest building on campus, West Hall, a place known more for its history than its comfort. The hallway smelled faintly of wood polish and something else, something harder to describe, like damp paper left in a closed room for too long. His room was at the very end of the corridor, room 317. When he opened the door, it felt normal enough. 2 beds, 2 desks, 1 window. And his roommate wasn't there yet. That didn't bother him. In fact, Ethan preferred it. He unpacked slowly, placing books neatly on his desk, arranging his clothes, setting up his laptop. It gave him a sense of control in an unfamiliar place. By evening, the room looked like his, but it didn't feel like his. The silence was off. Not peaceful, not calming, just wrong. Like the room was waiting. It was around 9 p.m. when his roommate finally arrived. No knock, no warning, just the sound of the door slowly creaking open behind him. Ethan turned. A tall, thin guy stood there, pale, almost unnaturally pale. His eyes didn't immediately meet Ethan. Instead, they wandered, scanning the room as if he were taking inventory. Then, after a long pause, "Hey," Ethan said, forcing a smile, "you must be my roommate." The guy blinked slowly. "Yeah." His voice was quiet, flat, like he hadn't spoken all day. "I'm Ethan." Another pause. "Noah." The handshake was cold. Not just physically, emotionally, like shaking hands with someone who wasn't really present. At first, Ethan thought Noah was just socially awkward. Plenty of people were. College was overwhelming. But as the night went on, something started to feel off. Noah didn't unpack. Not really. He just placed a single duffel bag on his bed and sat down. For hours, not on his phone, not reading, not doing anything, just sitting. Ethan tried making conversation. "Where are you from? Do you know anyone here? What's your major?" Each answer came delayed. Short, disconnected, not far, no, undecided. And then silence would return. Thick, uncomfortable. By midnight, Ethan gave up. "All right, I'm gonna crash." Noah didn't respond, didn't even look at him. Ethan turned off his lamp and lay down. The room fell into darkness, but sleep didn't come easily, because there was a feeling he couldn't shake. The feeling of being watched. At first he ignored it, closed his eyes tighter, shifted in bed, tried to slow his breathing. But the feeling didn't fade. It grew. Finally, he opened his eyes. Just slightly, enough to see across the room. Noah was sitting up, on his bed, perfectly still, and staring directly at him. Ethan froze. His heart started pounding. Did you need something?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Noah didn't respond immediately, just kept staring. Then, after a few seconds, Sorry. And he slowly laid back down. Ethan didn't sleep much that night. The next morning felt normal again. Too normal. Sunlight filled the room. Students laughed in the hallway. Doors opened and closed. Noah was gone. For a moment, Ethan wondered if he had imagined everything. But then he noticed something strange. His laptop was open. He was sure he had closed it. When he checked it, several tabs were open. His emails, old documents, even his personal notes. A cold feeling crept down his spine. That night, Ethan decided to be careful. He shut down his laptop completely, put his bag under his bed, and before sleeping, he quietly placed a small piece of tape on the zipper of his backpack. A simple trick. If anyone opened it, he'd know. Sometime during the night, he woke up. It wasn't a sound that woke him. It was that feeling again. That presence. He kept his eyes closed at first, listening. Then, a soft sound. A zipper. His eyes snapped open. Noah was on the floor, right beside his bed, going through his bag. "What the hell are you doing?" Ethan shouted, sitting up. Noah flinched, then looked up slowly. "I thought this was mine." "That's not your bag." Though, there was no panic in his voice, no embarrassment, no reaction that made sense. Just emptiness. Ethan didn't argue further, didn't confront him, because something deep inside him whispered, "This isn't normal." The next day, Ethan requested a room change. He didn't care where. He just wanted out. By evening, he was moved to another room. Different floor, different hallway, different roommate. Relief washed over him. For the first time since arriving, he felt safe. That night he slept deeply, peacefully, until click. A faint sound. Ethan's eyes opened. Click. Again. He sat up slowly. The room was dark. His new roommate was asleep. Click. The sound was coming from the door. Ethan's chest tightened. He got out of bed quietly and walked toward it. Click. He leaned closer, listening, and then he looked through the peephole. At first, he saw nothing, just the dimly lit hallway. Then, something moved. A shadow, standing directly in front of the door. He couldn't see a face, only the top of a head, tilted downward. And then, the doorknob moved. Slowly, carefully. Someone was trying to open it. Ethan stumbled back, his hands shaking. He grabbed his phone, dialed campus security. The clicking stopped. Silence. Minutes felt like hours. Then, loud footsteps. Voices. A knock. Campus security opened the door. Ethan rushed forward and opened it. 2 officers stood outside, and between them was Noah. His head hung low, his expression unreadable. "Do you know this student?" one officer asked. Ethan swallowed. "Yeah. He was attempting to access your room." Ethan's stomach dropped. "We found him manipulating the lock." Ethan looked at Noah. For a brief moment, Noah looked up and smiled. Not a normal smile. Not friendly. Not apologetic. Something else. Something wrong. And then he was taken away. Ethan never saw him again. But even now, years later, he still remembers that smile. because it didn't feel like the end of something. It felt like a warning. There's something about college campuses that people don't talk about enough. Not the classes, not the parties, not the freedom, but the spaces in between. The places just far enough from everything that no one hears you if something goes wrong. At Ridgeway University ***, there was a place like that. Students called it the Hollow ***. It wasn't on any official campus map, but everyone who stayed long enough eventually heard about it. A patch of dense wood stretching beyond the lake, where the trees grew too close together, and the light didn't quite reach the ground. During the day, it was harmless, quiet, peaceful even. But at night, that's when people avoided it. Not because of rules, but because of stories. Most of those stories were brushed off as exaggerations. Urban legends passed down from seniors to freshmen. Stories meant to scare, to entertain, to give the campus a personality. But Daniel, Marcus, and Leo, they didn't believe in stories. It was a Friday night in late October. The air was cold enough to see your breath. Leaves crunched under every step, dry and brittle like bones. Bro, we're seriously doing this. Leo laughed, adjusting his hoodie. Daniel smirked. Relax, it's just a forest, not a horror movie. Marcus, walking slightly behind them, didn't say much. He kept glancing over his shoulder. They had come out here for the same reason many students did: to get away. No campus security, no crowds, no rules. Just a quiet place to drink, talk, and forget about everything else. After a 15-minute walk past the lake, they reached the clearing. A small open patch surrounded by towering trees. This was the Hollow ***. Perfect, Daniel said, dropping his backpack. They built a small fire. Nothing big, just enough to keep warm. At first, everything felt normal. They joked, shared stories, passed around cheap drinks. The kind of night that felt like it would become a memory. Time blurred. The fire crackled softly. The wind whispered through the trees. And then, Marcus stopped laughing. You hear that? Daniel rolled his eyes. Here we go. No, seriously, Marcus said, his voice lower now. Just listen. They all went quiet. At first, nothing. Then, crunch. Somewhere in the distance. Leo sat up straighter. Probably just someone else out here. Daniel nodded. Yeah, happens. But Marcus wasn't convinced. No, he said slowly, that's too close. Another sound. Crunch. Closer this time. The three of them looked toward the trees. The firelight barely reached beyond the clearing. Everything passed that was swallowed in darkness. Hey, Daniel called out, his voice echoing slightly. Someone out there. Silence. Then, crack. A branch snapping. Loud. Deliberate. Leo forced a laugh. Okay, that's not funny. Marcus stood up now. That's not an animal. The sounds didn't move away. They moved sideways, slowly circling. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Daniel felt it now too. That shift in the atmosphere. That subtle change where everything stops feeling normal. All right, he said, standing, let's just pack up. But before they could move, thud, something landed in the center of the clearing. All three of them jumped. It was a branch. Large, too large to have just fallen. For a second, no one spoke. Then Leo whispered, "Did that just?" Before he could finish, wham! Another branch. Thrown. Hard. It struck Marcus in the shoulder, knocking him sideways. "Run!" Daniel shouted. They didn't hesitate. They grabbed what they could and bolted. Branches snapped behind them. Footsteps. Heavy. Vast. Someone was chasing them. Daniel didn't look back. He couldn't. Every instinct screamed. Don't look. Marcus stumbled. Leo grabbed him, pulling him forward. Move. The trees felt tighter now. The path less clear. The darkness deeper. And the footsteps. Still behind them. Not gaining. But not falling back either. Just keeping pace. Finally, they broke through the tree line. The road. Street lights. Safety. They collapsed near the edge of the pavement, gasping for air. For a moment, there was nothing. No footsteps. No movement. Just silence. Daniel let out a shaky laugh. What the hell was that? But Marcus wasn't laughing. We weren't alone. Leo turned toward the woods. And that's when he saw it. Guys, standing just beyond the trees, was a figure. Tall, still, watching them. Every time a car passed, the figure would step back, hidden, then step forward again once the headlights were gone. Watching, waiting. "Get in the car," Daniel said quickly. They didn't argue. They drove back to campus in silence. No music. No jokes. No explanations. Just the sound of tires on asphalt. And three minds trying to process what just happened. Back in their dorm, they locked the door, double-checked the windows, and tried to convince themselves it was just some random person. A prank. A coincidence. But deep down, none of them believed that. Because of one detail. None of them could explain. The branches. They weren't just thrown. They were aimed. And whatever was out there had been watching them long before they realized it. That night, none of them slept well. But Marcus, he didn't sleep at all. Because sometime around 3 a.m., he heard something. Not outside. Not in the hallway. But inside the room. A faint sound. Like something dragging across the floor. He sat up slowly. His heart pounding. "Daniel," he whispered. No response. "Leo." Still nothing. Then, he saw it. The closet door. Slightly open. And inside, something moved. There's an unspoken rule in college. No matter how bad a party is, you can always leave. At least, that's what people believe. Ryan believed that too. Until the night he realized. Some places don't let you walk out so easily. It was the second week of the semester at Hawthorne State University ***. Still early enough that everything felt exciting. New friends. New routines. New opportunities. Ryan wasn't the party type. Not really. But his roommate Jason. He lived for it. "Come on, man," Jason insisted, tossing him a hoodie. "You can't just sit in the dorm every night." Ryan hesitated. "Where is it?" Jason smirked. "You'll see." That should have been the first warning. The house was far from campus. Too far. Past the well-lit streets. Past the student housing. Into a part of town that felt forgotten. The GPS signal dropped halfway there. Jason didn't seem concerned. "Relax," he said. "Everyone goes here at least once." The house came into view slowly. A corner property. Old. Paint peeling from the walls. Windows dark, except for one flickering light inside. Music was playing. Loud, distorted. Cars lined the street. But something felt off. Too many cars. Too few people outside. Ryan stopped walking. "This is it." Jason laughed. "Yeah, don't judge it from the outside." They walked up to the door. Ryan noticed something strange. There were no voices. No laughter. Just music. Jason knocked. The door opened almost instantly. A short, heavy-set guy stood there. Sweat soaked through his shirt. His smile was too wide. "Come in," he said. No greeting. No questions. Just that. Ryan stepped inside and immediately felt it. Heat. The room was suffocatingly hot. Like the air wasn't circulating. Like it was trapped. There were people inside. Dozens. But something was wrong. No one was really talking. Groups stood together. But conversations felt forced. Delayed. Unnatural. It was like everyone was pretending to be at a party. Ryan leaned toward Jason. "This is weird." Jason shrugged. "Give it a minute." Ryan grabbed a drink. Cheap. Flat. Warm. He scanned the room, trying to relax, trying to blend in. That's when he noticed him. A guy standing across the room, watching him. Not casually, not briefly, constantly. Their eyes met. The guy didn't look away, didn't smile, didn't react, just stared. Ryan looked away first. A chill ran down his spine. "Hey," a voice said suddenly beside him. Ryan turned. Another guy, taller, holding a small bottle. "You look like you need something stronger." Ryan forced a laugh. "I'm good, man." The guy didn't move, didn't blink. "Trust me," he said quietly, "this'll help." Something about the way he said it didn't feel like an offer. Ryan hesitated. Then, against his better judgment, he took it. "Cheers," the guy said. Ryan drank. The taste was sharp, burning, stronger than expected. And then, everything started to blur. The music stretched. Voices echoed. The room felt like it was tilting. Ryan blinked hard. Jason. But Jason wasn't next to him anymore. The people around him looked different now. Their faces felt off. Like expressions didn't match their eyes. Like smiles were delayed. Ryan stumbled backward, his heart racing. "I need air," he muttered. He pushed through the crowd, toward the stairs. No one stopped him. No one even looked at him. Upstairs, it was darker, quieter. The music became muffled, distant. Ryan reached the top of the stairs and paused. The hallway stretched ahead of him. Long, narrow, doors on both sides, all closed, except one, at the very end, slightly open. Ryan didn't want to go near it. Every instinct told him, leave, but his body felt heavy, slow, and something else was pulling him forward. Step by step, he walked down the hallway. The door creaked open wider as he approached. Inside, darkness. Ryan stepped in. The room was empty, or so he thought. Then, asterisk crunch, a sound behind him. He turned. The closet door, slowly moving. Hello. No answer. His breathing quickened. The door creaked open further. And from inside came a sound, not loud, not clear, but unmistakable. Breathing. Someone was inside. Ryan stumbled backward, his vision spinning. And then, everything went black. When he woke up, it was silent, completely silent. No music, no voices, nothing. He was lying on a bed, the same room. But now, it felt different, colder. Ryan sat up slowly, his head pounding. Jason. No response. Panic crept in. He stood up, staggered toward the door, and opened it. The hallway was empty. Too empty. All the doors open, every single one. Ryan walked slowly, heart racing. Room after room. Empty. No people. No signs of a party. Just silence. He reached the stairs, walked down. The living room. Empty. The front door wide open. Ryan stepped outside. The street. Empty. No cars. Nothing. Like the party had never existed. His chest tightened. Then, he heard it. Behind him. A voice. You shouldn't have left. Ryan turned. Standing in the doorway was the man who gave him the drink. Smiling. But this time, his eyes weren't human. They were empty. Like something was missing behind them. Ryan ran. He didn't stop. Didn't look back. He ran until he reached campus. Lights. People. Reality. But even then, something felt wrong. Because when he checked his phone, there were no messages, no calls, no proof he had ever left. And Jason, he was back in the dorm, sleeping, alone. Where were you? Ryan asked, shaking him awake. Jason blinked, confused. What are you talking about? The party, that house. Jason frowned. Ryan, we never went anywhere. Silence. Ryan stepped back. What? Jason rubbed his eyes. You said you weren't feeling well. You went to sleep early. Ryan's stomach dropped. Because he remembered everything. Every step. Every face. Every moment. So if none of it happened, then where was he? And more importantly, why did it feel like something followed him back? There's a certain kind of fear that doesn't come from what you see, but from what you can't explain. For Aisha, college wasn't supposed to be scary. It was supposed to be simple. Study, sleep, repeat. She had chosen Northbridge College for one reason. Privacy. Unlike most freshmen, she didn't want roommates, parties, or noise. She requested a single dorm asterisk. And somehow, she got one. Room 204. It was tucked away in a strange corner of the building. To reach it, you had to walk down the main hallway. Turn left, then walk through a narrow side corridor that only had one door at the end asterisk. Her door. At first, it felt perfect. No loud neighbors. No random knocks. No interruptions. Just silence. Peaceful, comforting silence. For the first 2 weeks, everything was normal. Until the night of her biology midterm prep. It was late. Around 1:30 a.m. Her desk lamp was the only source of light in the room. Notes spread everywhere. Highlighter in hand. Eyes half focused. That's when she heard it. Tap. soft, barely noticeable. She paused, looked toward the door. Hello? No answer. She shrugged it off. Probably pipes. Old building. Normal. She went back to studying. A minute passed. Tab, tab. This time. Clearer. She frowned. Got up. Walked to the door. Opened it. The corridor was empty. Not unusual. But still, something felt off. She stepped out slightly. Looked down the hallway beyond the corner. Nothing. No footsteps. No doors closing. Just silence. She went back inside. Locked the door. That night, nothing else happened. But the next night, it came back. Knock. Louder this time. Aisha froze in bed. Her eyes fixed on the door. Who is it? She called out. Silence. She didn't move. Didn't open it. After a few seconds, the knocking stopped. The next morning she asked around. Were you guys messing with my door last night? Her neighbors looked confused. What door? One of them asked. The one in the side corridor. They exchanged glances. There's a room there, someone said. Aisha laughed nervously. Yeah, mine. But something about their reaction didn't sit right. That night, she made a decision. If it happened again, she'd catch whoever was doing it. She left her door unlocked, lights off, pretended to sleep, and waited. Time passed slowly. Every sound felt amplified. Her heartbeat, the hum of electricity, the faint wind outside. Then, bang, bang, bang. The door shook. Aisha shot up, heart pounding. This wasn't a prank anymore. Who is it? She shouted. Silence. Then, very softly, asterisk tab, tab, tab. Like something had changed its mind. Aisha stood up, slowly, walked to the door. Her hand hovered over the handle. Every instinct screamed. Asterisk, don't open it. But something else, something stronger, pushed her forward. She opened the door. Empty. But this time, she didn't stop there. She stepped out and ran down the small corridor, around the corner, just in time to see someone turning into the far hallway. A tall figure, wearing dark clothes. Hey, she shouted. No response. She chased. Her footsteps echoed loudly. The figure moved quickly. Too quickly. Turning corners. Disappearing. Then reappearing just ahead. Like it was leading her somewhere. Finally, it turned into the bathroom at the end of the hall. Aisha didn't hesitate. She burst through the door. The lights were off. She flipped the switch. The room flickered to life. Empty. Her breathing grew heavier. Not funny, she whispered. Then, she noticed it. The stalls, all closed. Slowly, she approached. One by one, she pushed them open. Empty. Until the last one. The door was slightly ajar. She crouched down and looked underneath. A pair of boots. Old. Dirty. Someone was inside. Her throat went dry. She stood up slowly, reached for the door, and pulled it open. The stall was empty. Only the boots remained, perfectly placed, as if someone had just stepped out of them. Aisha stumbled back. Then, A sound. Behind her. Soft. Broken. Laughter. Not normal laughter. Not human. Something deeper. Older. Echoing through the bathroom walls. Aisha ran. She didn't stop. Didn't look back. Back to her room. She slammed the door. Locked it. Her hands shaking uncontrollably. She grabbed her phone. Called her friend. No answer. Texted everyone she knew. No replies. Time felt frozen. Then, asterisk knock. Soft again. Aisha froze. Please stop, she whispered. Another knock. Then, a voice. From the other side. Soft. Calm. Aisha. Her blood turned cold. Because she never told anyone her room number. Or her name. And yet, something outside her door knew exactly who she was. Fear doesn't always end when the night is over. Sometimes, it waits. For Aisha, that night should have been the breaking point. The moment she packed her things, requested a transfer, and never looked back. But reality isn't always that simple. The next morning, everything felt normal. Sunlight poured through her window. Students laughed in the hallways. Doors opened and closed like nothing had happened. For a brief moment, Aisha almost convinced herself it was asterisk nothing. A dream. Stress. Sleep deprivation. Until she looked at her door. 3 faint marks. Right at eye level. Scratches. Not random. Not accidental. Deliberate. Like something had been tapping. Not with knuckles, but with something sharper. Her stomach tightened. She reached out slowly. Ran her fingers across the marks. They were fresh. Whatever had been there last night was real. That was enough. She went straight to administration. Requested a room change. Immediately. At first they resisted. Is there a problem with your room? Aisha hesitated. How do you explain something like that? I just don't feel safe there. Something in her voice must have convinced them. Because by evening, she was moved. Different building. Different floor. Different people. A fresh start. Or at least, that's what she hoped. Her new dorm was lively. Voices in the hallway. Music playing somewhere nearby. A constant sense of life. It felt grounding. Normal. That night, for the first time in days, she slept. Deeply. Peacefully. Until, asterisk tap. Her eyes opened instantly. No. Her heart began to race. No, no, no. She sat up, staring at the door. Silence. It's not real, she whispered. Then, asterisk tap, tap, tap. Her breath caught. It followed her. Slowly, she got out of bed. Every step felt heavier than the last. She reached the door. Her hand trembled as it hovered over the handle. Who's there? Silence. Then, very softly, you left. Aisha stumbled backward. Tears welled in her eyes. This wasn't possible. This couldn't be happening. Her mind raced, trying to find logic, reason, anything. But deep down, she already knew. This wasn't about the room. It was about her. The knocking didn't belong to a place. It chose people. And somehow, it had chosen her. That night, she didn't open the door. She sat in the corner of her room, Lights on, phone in hand, waiting for morning. And when it finally came, she made a decision. She left campus. No explanations, no goodbyes, just gone. Transferred to another college weeks later. New city, new environment, new life. And for a while, it worked. No knocking, no whispers, no shadows. Months passed, then a year. Eventually, the fear faded. It became something distant, a memory she tried not to revisit. Until one night, long after she thought it was over, she stayed late at the library, studying, alone. The building was quiet, almost empty. Around midnight, she packed her things, started heading out. As she passed the exit door, she heard it, faint, almost forgotten. *tab. She froze. Slowly, she turned her head. The sound came from behind her. A study room. The door was closed. Lights off. Her chest tightened. "No," she whispered. She stepped closer, against every instinct. And then, *tab. From inside, her hand reached for the handle. Stopped, shaking, because deep down, she knew something terrifying. If she opened that door, it wouldn't just be knocking anymore. It would be waiting for her. #clapperboard final narration. College is supposed to be a place of growth, of memories, of discovering who you are. But sometimes, it becomes something else. A place where reality bends, where strangers aren't what they seem, where the dark doesn't stay outside, and where some things don't stay behind. Because the scariest part of these stories isn't what happened. It's the possibility that somewhere, right now, something is knocking. And this time, it might be calling your name.